I became a caregiver for my dad after he suffered a stroke in 2019 after a heart operation.
I'm caring for my older brother. He's 37 years old. He has Down syndrome and he has a stump for a left hand. His name is Jonathan.
I'm currently caring for my dad together with my family and helper since the 31st of January 2019. That was the day that my dad fell ill to a really severe stroke. That started our caregiving journey basically.
So the moment that I realized that I was going to become a caregiver was the moment when the nurses told me and my mom that we had to learn how to change my dad's diaper. I think I felt pretty lost and shocking in the sense that now as the child I have to change my parents' diaper.
It first occurred to me that I'm a caregiver when my parents kept telling me when I was young that I have to take care of him. It only became clearer later when I was around 12 years old, when my mom had a bad stroke, and that's when all of us had to chip in to really take care of him. Yeah.
Every morning when he wakes up, we need to prepare like a chair in the toilet for him to wash up. And then while he's doing that, we need to prepare breakfast. After breakfast, we need to prepare his medications, which are quite a lot. And then for lunch, we also have to prepare it at home because he's on a very strict diet. And then by the evening or like the late afternoon, he has to go for like his rehab exercises. So while he's doing that, we have to prepare dinner. And then when he's home, we have dinner. We need to prepare him for shower. And then after he's done with showering, we have to clean up the washroom, bring out the shower wheelchair, and then prepare him for his night medications. That's roughly what happens in a day, yeah.
Before caregiving, my dad was still healthy. It's like, yeah, living my life, right? Like meet up with friends, you know, go for CG, and even those impromptu meals. And then of course working lah, yeah. And then after that, I fell ill and I had to care for him. I kind of withdraw myself, you know, from any kind of social gathering. I kind of wanted to be with that.
So there's this one time Jonathan was acting very badly. my helper, she had gone to his room just to clear a lot of the trash he had hoarded. And when Jonathan found out, he was so mad, he was so angry. So he took revenge by going into her room and he took her stuff and he just threw it out the window. And my helper was very upset as well, and we were like, oh no, you know. So late at night, he would get up and he would go to her room. He would try to open the door and it would be locked. So my sister and I, we would camp right outside my helper's room to catch him in the act. And so we'd be waiting there and he would open the door ajar ever so slightly and we would catch him and would say, go into your room! And then he would hiss, ah! And then he would go back to his room and he would scream in anger, and that would be several times in the night for several nights. However long it took for him just to stop that behaviour.
I think most people would think that this role is very physically taxing. But I think they don't see the side of the emotional struggle we also have to go through. I do get questions from people who know about my situation. Hey Jasmine, how's your dad doing? So sometimes I can get this question being asked to me 3-4 times by 3-4 different people within 10-15 minutes. So it can be quite overwhelming, for me to narrate, how's my dad doing. And sometimes on weeks that my dad isn't doing so well at home, having to narrate his situation to them, I would feel quite sian or sad, because I feel that I have to recall the reality back home, or the responsibilities back home.
I think what made caregiving a lot harder was the expectation that I have to pack my personal life at home. No one wants to see that in the workplace, in church. People just want to go on and they expect you to function, And that was the hardest thing for me, because I'm not sleeping emotionally, I'm not rested, and yet I have to put on a different skin, go to work and be this person that is driven, that loves his work, that wants to do well, that is gregarious and fun-loving. But actually, in the suitcase, there's a very tired Tim down there who just wants to just chill, and be given a break. Yeah.
I used to serve quite actively in various church ministries, and I did aspire to continue doing so even after my dad had the stroke. But I slowly realized, or actually I quickly realized that it was not possible. I think it felt pretty unfair, and it felt like I had my life being taken away from me. But thankfully I went through a season whereby I had to really come to God, and eventually God revealed to me that even though this is not like the ideal kind of life that I want, caregiving is now a ministry that God has placed me in to serve Him and to also serve my parents as well.
I think caregiver guilt was very real, so I felt like I needed to be with my dad as much as possible physically, like 24/7. If not, like I'm a bad daughter. But I had to learn how, to surrender to the fact that I can't actually be 24/7 physically there for my dad, and the only person who can do that is God. So it's really learning how to trust God again, and learning that He is omnipresent, and He's the one that can give me true peace. Yeah.
I think society can do better by just really caring for them, understanding what it's like. If they tell you that they are caring for someone, they are telling you something that is very personal in their lives, that they probably have not let much people in before, and it will mean so much to them just to really ask, what's that like? How can I help? And really follow through. I mean, in the workplace, being able to work flexibly has been so freeing. I don't have to come to work thinking I have to choose this or that. I know that I can still take care of this or my brother, go home and deal with it, make everyone okay, and I can still focus on my job, which is very important to me as well. Yeah, so I think that would really help.
I think you can also ask us how are we doing too. Yeah, I think we would really appreciate the concern that is shown to us as well. Yeah, and not look at us and then only see that person we are giving care to. Yeah, so I think that would really make us feel more visible in a sense. Yeah, and that I think would help. Yeah.
So caregiving is a very complex situation. It's not that straightforward as we might think that it is. There are many factors that we need to consider, and also the willingness of the parties involved. I guess what would help would be if we could have more conversations about this, to have more awareness about caregiving in itself, what it entails, and also emotional support, I guess, for caregivers out there.
This caregiving journey is a journey, so do remember to pace yourself, and not wear out yourself. And it's okay if you are going out for breaks or just chilling or having coffee with your friends.
Don't keep this part of your life locked up. Bring people in that you trust. Bring Jesus in. He cares so deeply for you, and He knows what you're going through. And you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And then be strong. Be strong in the Lord. Yeah.
Thank you for doing what you're doing. You're doing great. You are doing a good job, even if nobody thanks you for it. Hang in there. I'm pretty sure the person that you're taking care of appreciates what you're doing. definitely the age gap was a thing that we had to consider. Like 12 years So I think I had a harder time. Like, cause for him he considered, you also had it hard.
Yeah, I had it hard.
Okay, yeah, he had to overcome the barrier of 小妹妹.
Yeah, the barrier of 小妹妹, it's like, the generation gap, like.
Yeah, like can you imagine, like when he was taking his PSLE, I was just born.